Christ is risen.
Christ is risen. Hallelujah.
Now, I expected half of you to say, April Fools! To a good portion of the world, the joke is on us. Who among us hasn't seen a person resurrected? Not resuscitated, that's a pretty common event, but resurrected. For those of us preaching across the globe, the joke really is on us. There are those of you who we don't see so often, and listening to a sermon, well, the prayer for this Sunday might go like this. Now I sit me down to sleep, the speaker dull, the subject deep. If he should stop before I wake, give me a poke, for heaven's sake. You know, it's easy to mix up faith and doubt and boredom and curiosity with this mystery called the resurrection. The empty tomb is indeed a cause for disorientation, but in that, appearances can be deceiving. The great preacher William Sloane Coffin said, well, Easter is about the victory of seemingly powerless love over loveless power. It was powerless love that went to the cross. It was powerless love that died. It was powerless love that sat in the tomb on Friday. It was powerless love that was wrapped in death on Saturday. We all know at some level, have read human history or experienced our own Friday nights, our own Saturdays waiting in confusion and fear and bewilderment, worried about loved ones or ourselves, or mourning about death. Over the course of human history, there has been death-driven Saturdays filled with crucifixion, rage-induced shootings, physical and verbal abuse, genocide, 9/11, overwhelming collapse of resources. Live long enough, you'll know what the Saturday tomb is about. And on the one hand, yes, it's true. Powerless love was done in by loveless power in the world. And if that's all there was to the story, if there wasn't a Sunday morning, then it would just be another tragedy, another chink of our hearts moved again. But God calls us to another narrative, one that transforms and redeems our desperate now. Walter Brueggemann says that this narrative is urgent among us because it's clear the old narratives of money and power and violence and control have failed us. There is wonderment about another world. It is discipleship after the guy who stopped the world and started it again. And now in the church, all of us, conservatives and progressives, are wondering, what is this alternative? We're not sure, but we're expected to be interrupted. We're expected to be given a mandate. We're expected to be put at risk. We're not sure, but we are haunted by this thought of it. And ironically, we're not alone in our waiting and wondering as we look at the gospel texts having to do with Easter. Grace takes us to those places that we could never imagine on our own and never knew that we needed. Indeed, our scriptures this morning tell us about Mary as she's looking inside the tomb, bewildered in tears because the body of Jesus is gone. And not one but two angels speak to her. And this confusion is amplified when she encounters Jesus himself, thinking him the gardener. She begs him to tell her where the body lay that she might take it away. And then he calls her by name. And she is awake as if seeing him for the first time. It is his body. Not moved, not dead, not zombie Jesus, but alive. Let me be crystal clear. We are not here this morning to debate whether or not this event took place. It did. And the proof of that is that you are here in this church with these people who have given their lives, talents, and treasures to proclaim with you the good news that Jesus is risen from the dead. Easter then isn't an event that we mark on the calendar sort of like a birthday or an anniversary, but rather a reality whose depths we must no longer slumber through. At Easter, think of yourselves as, well, you got to put on your imagination here. Think of yourselves as Sleeping Beauty. And this worship service is the kiss from the handsome Prince of Peace. Yes, I'm dating myself a little bit here, but that's all right. I'm sure many of you have visited Disney parks, right? At least some of you have seen Sleeping Beauty. When you visit Disney, the central image is the castle of Sleeping Beauty. And it's graceful, and it's soaring, and it's got great tourists and whatnot. But when you go inside of it, what do you find? A few novelty shops, and that's it. I got to tell you that as a child, as I went through that castle, I remember I was 5 years old, first time at Disneyland, thinking, finally we're going to go in the castle, we're going to see what all the good things are. And then when we got through, I was like, wait a second, what happened? I got ripped off. What? Where is everything? There's a reason for that. For precisely the function of Disneyland is to empty us of the harsh realities of life and to render us unconscious to those things that are too hard to bear. You know? That is part of the Disney experience, to become unconscious of the real world and enter into the never land of fantasy. Fittingly, Sleeping Beauty's castle of monuments to trance and sleep serves as a portal to this plane. And if Disney entices participants to fall asleep in order to escape life, the church's mission today and every day is to urge people to wake up in order to experience the abundant life. Easter is a reveille call, announcing the drawing of our new relationship with God through Jesus Christ. It is the beginning of a restored world. And this is a radical new reality. The message of Easter wakes us not just from the stupering slumber, but also calls us forth from the tombs of separateness from God and one another, bound in grave clothes of despair to wear robes of joy, peace, hope, and love. Wouldn't you just love it if someone said to you, my, you look awfully good in that joy. Where did you buy that love? Did you get that at Nordstrom's? And when they ask you that question, you'll say, no, but I can tell you where to get it. My friends, Easter is no fantasy. Easter is the rousing, transforming power of God, shaking each and every one of us to awaken to the life in Christ. But how lackadaisical we can be in the face of this gift. Many of us would rather stumble on in a fog than awake to the fullness of life offered through Christ. Even this Easter morning, some of us are sitting here saying, when's this preacher going to be done? Wake up, church. Christ is risen from the dead. Wake up to the power of the risen Lord bringing life into your life. Wake up, church. Resurrection is here, right now, in this place, in you. And if you have any doubts, walk with us. Talk with us here at St. Clare's. You don't have to just talk to the clergy, right, Carol? But you can. Talk with us. Let us show you what a life in Jesus Christ is all about. It's about freedom and grace and love, the likes of which will fill you better than anything you can purchase in this world. And the stuff that we know, you can't buy it anywhere. Open yourselves up to the power of the Scriptures to speak to your life. As Jesus called Mary's name to finally stir her soul to consciousness, so Christ sends a personal wake-up message to each of us this morning. Easter morning is an annual wake-up call addressed to you, Christ's own body, the church. Body parts that have fallen asleep, you know how it is when an arm or a leg falls asleep. It takes circulation in order to get it to wake up again. Wake up. Get up. Sign up. All around you, Christ is bringing the whole world back to life, no matter what your fears or eyes may say. Amen.
Amen.